We begin with breaking news tonight. We've learned that 2 cadets with the Utah Military Academy have passed away of the flu.
The father of one of the victims, Dustin Graham, says his son Braxton was flown to Primary Children's Hospital yesterday and passed away after going into septic shock and cardiac arrest. A school staff member told Fox 13 the second student passed away earlier today. Students with the academy gathered on the campus of Weber State University tonight for a balloon release in honor of their classmates. We received a statement, the Utah Military Academy saying in part, quote, family, friends, students, and staff are in our thoughts and prayers, and we are asking for privacy and respect for all of them at this time.
Tonight, the Weber Morgan Health Department also releasing a statement saying, in part, while the health department has verified that each student tested positive for influenza, they were not matching strains of the virus. As our investigation is ongoing to protect the family's privacy, we are unable to provide additional details. Of course, we're continuing to track the story, and we'll have updates as we learn more, both on air and online at fox13now.com.
We're also following a developing story in Box Elder County tonight, where a woman died earlier today after drowning at Crystal Hot Springs. Box Elder County Sheriff's Office says around 3 this afternoon, witnesses had pulled a 51-year-old woman from the water and were performing CPR. The woman and a friend were swimming in a large pool when teens swimming in that same pool noticed that she was having trouble and called for help. EMS crews took her to the hospital where she died. At this point, the victim has not been publicly identified. Looking at our weather now, we saw some parts of the area get pretty foggy throughout the day. And here's a look at a time lapse from our Old Mill camera taken this afternoon into the evening hours. There's a storm on the horizon that we should all be knowing about at this point.
You know, fog's out there right now, and it seems like that fog is going to spend the night, right, Breck?
It is, and before sunset, you know, we actually had some pleasant conditions along the Salt Lake Valley. Here's another view right at sunset, South Jordan. Beautiful shot there, where in the morning we had the fog clearing up just a little bit throughout the afternoon, but towards West Salt Lake Valley over towards Tooele County, really in the late afternoon, early evening hours, this dense fog setting back in and spreading across the Wasatch Front, where right now it's becoming more of a concern, where the National Weather Service wants us to be alert with this dense fog, I should say, which is taking place along the Wasatch Front. Limited visibility for most of the Wasatch Front from Ogden all the way down through Provo. You see that 0. That indicates we see visibility less than a mile, between 1/4 and 1/2 of a mile from Ogden, Salt Lake City, over towards Tooele, Provo as well. Not as bad as we saw earlier in Price. Currently in Vernal, things are looking pretty good. But with this fog in place from the National Weather Service, dense fog advisory that's currently in place until tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. as we begin to burn off that fog in the mid-morning hours. So yes, traveling will be a concern here tonight along the Wasatch Front over towards Tooele. Now we have some clouds in place, at least across northern into northeastern Utah. No showers right now. We're not worried about that as of yet. We do have a storm we're going to be talking about, but for tonight the focus will be the fog as we're hanging on to the clouds. And overnight lows dipping down into the low 30s. Now the storm will be hitting tomorrow. When will it hit? And do we see rain or snow? I'll let you know coming up.
All right, thank you, Breck. The 5th annual March for Life was staged today at Utah's state capitol. It's put on by the Utah Pro-Life Coalition, and it's billed as a commemoration of the approximately 3,000 lives lost each year in the state of Utah to abortion. Gail Rustica with the Eagle Forum of Utah praised President Trump and Utah Senator Mike Lee for standing for life at yesterday's march in Washington, D.C.
That every one of us started as that tiny little baby starts at conception, and that if our mothers had decided to, you know, if your mother, anybody's mother here, had decided to have an abortion, you wouldn't be standing here today.
Rustica and her Eagle Forum support 3 bills before the Utah legislature. One would determine that Utah agrees that life begins at conception. Now, another would require women to have and view an ultrasound before having an abortion. The other calls for respect of the remains and not to destroy them.
Protesters representing political, union, and religious groups rallied against the U.S. going to war with Iran today.
These should and could be settled by peaceful negotiation and adjustment. That's the message of the First Presidency of the Mormon Church.
The members of the Answer Coalition gathered outside the Wall of Wallace F. Bennett Federal Building, rallies in 100 U.S. cities and 15 countries across the world claim the Trump administration is dragging the U.S. into a war with Iran.
We want better relationships between the United States and Iran. However, the United States is making that hard with military attacks as well as sanctions that, destroy the Iranian economy and don't help anybody there.
These protesters had 3 demands: that there be no U.S. war against Iran, that the U.S. ends the sanctions on Iran, and that U.S. forces get out of Iraq and stay out. The Mike Bloomberg for President 2020 campaign has opened an office in Salt Lake City.
Supporters see Bloomberg as having the best chance to beat President Trump come November. They're getting out the message that Utah is one of the 14 states to vote in a Super Tuesday Democratic primary on March 3rd.
We've got now a space where our team of 11 can work every day. We've got a space where volunteers can come. We've got a place where people can come pick up T-shirts and lawn signs and whatever they want. But most importantly, what our office signifies is the serious commitment that Bloomberg has to Utah.
So their office is located at 243 East, 400 South, and a second office will open in Lehigh around the 1st of February. New at 9, customers and employees across Utah say that the Village Inn restaurants in their neighborhood have been abruptly shut down.
And in one case, Fox 13's Adam Herbetz had to be the one to tell employees they were out of a job as they showed up for work today.
Great, I'm out of a job now. What do I do?
For some of the people who work, or I guess you could say used to work, at the Village Inn,
Nothing. No heads up.
they got no phone call, no voicemail, not even a text message, just a sign on the door.
You're like a stranger. I should be hearing it from them.
Like, this was my place, man. I don't know why people would do that to someone. It seems very bad, Oh, hey, we're closed. Bye. See ya.
Yeah, they've had a lot of issues. Mainly management is one of the biggest ones. We were losing a lot of money.
And I pull it out of my teeth. There's these huge pieces of plastic.
The signs say employees like Sarah will be eligible for a severance package or move to another store, but the question is which locations are even still open.
Now it's poof, gone. Times they are changing.
At the location in Roy, workers said they thought everything was going well because they just got promotions and raises. Now employees from across the country tell Fox 13 dozens of Village Inns were shut down nationwide.
I had that happen to me once too, right before I got canned. There's a lot of people that are going to suffer bad from that, and I think they should definitely get something for it.
When we called the Village Inn corporate team, we got the same response as the employees, which is no response. We wanted to know exactly how many locations have been shut down, and we wanted to know why. When we cross-referenced Google Maps with the Village Inn website, we found 5 locations removed: Roy, West Jordan, Sandy, North Salt Lake, and Orem. Live in studio, Adam Herbetz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Adam, thank you. An update now to breaking news we brought you last night. Firefighters in Salt Lake are looking into what caused an apartment to catch fire and prompt the whole 3-story building to be evacuated. Happened around 9 o'clock at the Windsor Park Apartments last night off of Redwood Road. Crews had to take one woman trapped inside to the hospital for smoke inhalation. Crews were able to get the fire under control in about 20 minutes. The cost of the damage is still unknown.
In Harrisville, a 26-year-old man is dead after being hit by a car. This happened at 695 North Washington Boulevard around 9 o'clock last night. Harrisville police say a southbound vehicle hit the victim while he was crossing the street. Investigators say the victim was not in a crosswalk. Police say a poorly lit area and inclement weather were both contributing factors to this accident.
A 3-day effort to count Salt Lake County's population of people experiencing homelessness is now complete.
This morning, the county mayor saw firsthand the challenges that many are facing. Fox 13's John Franke takes a look at how this effort aims to get people off the streets.
Well, I'm guessing it's probably about 4:30 or 5 in the morning. We're out joining the Volunteers of America.
Braving the fog and the early morning cold.
As a policymaker, as a chief executive now, it's important, I think, to see this in a really direct, real way.
Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson put her boots on the ground to get an up-close look at how homelessness is impacting so many in the community.
We just came across a very well-dressed young man, I would guess around a little bit older than my older son, maybe about 20 years old, and going off to work in a few hours. He doesn't have a place to stay. He'd had some family challenges.
That is just one story, one face of an issue Wilson wants to solve.
That's a little tug at the heart because he did not meet the profiles you might think of somebody who's homeless.
The Point in Time count will help people experiencing homelessness get connected with resources like the new shelter in Sugar House, but it also gives Mayor Wilson knowledge of the severity of the problem.
It's heartbreaking to see people who are ready to go to housing and really kind of be waiting, and so I'm really more inspired to double down on the housing element of this crisis.
The mayor says this real experience is helping her understand the issues people are facing while living on the streets. Seeing the pain some are going through, while uncomfortable now, may lead to the changes so many desperately need.
I can't say that I enjoyed it because it's hard to see people suffering or in transition, but I got a lot out of it.
In Salt Lake County, John Franke, Fox 13 News, Utah.
An Ogden teenager lost her leg in a tragic accident.
Hope Bodley was in a wreck in Washington Terrace on January 1st. She injured her leg, which needed to be amputated. Her family has established a GoFundMe to help pay for her medical bills and to make her home more accommodating. There's a link right now, fox13now.com.
President Trump says his lawyers did such a good job this weekend that it's a mandate to wrap up the impeachment trial quickly. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have more on what's next in the trial coming up.
And a battle brewing on Capitol Hill over Utah sports mascots. Coming up, what both sides want.
911 Lone Star is TV's #1 news show. Boom, boom, boom.
You had enough yet?
Just getting started. Good God. 911 Lone Star, all new Monday on Fox.
Get your news a full hour before the rest. Join Bob Evans, Kelly Chapman, and Kristen Van Dyke for Fox 13 News at 9. Let's connect.
Behind the wheel of a Ford, we take on every tough job, any rough terrain, and no matter what comes our way, we keep on trucking. Yeah, we're tougher out here, and there's only one brand of truck built to keep up. Get a built Ford Tough F-150 with $7,000 cash back or 0% financing for 72 months or $4,000 cash back on Ranger.
Need cash? TitleMax offers 2 ways to get it. Get cash using your car title. Go to TitleMax.com, enter the car year, make, model. See how much you can get. TitleMax also offers personal loans. No title required. Check out TitleMax.com when you need more cash. Check out TitleMax.com and shop us for rates. Get up to $2,500 with a personal loan or up to $10,000 using your car title. And you'll say,
I got my title back with TitleMax.
Get a title back with TitleMax.
The problem with hanging on to the past is when you're always looking back, you can't see what's coming. Forward collision warning with emergency braking assist. Standard on Sorento SX, Telluride, and Sportage. Part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs. Right now, lease the 2020 Sportage LX all-wheel drive for $179 a month.
Cooking spray explosions caught on tape.
We don't really know why these cans are exploding.
From the kitchen to the hospital.
Monday at 2 on Fox 13.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
A busy day on Utah's Capitol Hill as dozens of protesters showed up to the steps to have their voices heard.
Fox 13's Spencer Joseph was there and shows us what they were fighting for.
A subject that divides many.
Representative Rex Ship, we are not mascots.
Mascots portraying Native Americans and Native American symbols.
We need to talk about it and talk about how we treated Native Americans in the past.
And it's a topic that will be taken up during the 2020 legislative session.
We should have the ability to be real people, and to claim our heritage, claim our culture without being criticized.
And at the Capitol, around 100 people gathered Saturday to speak against it.
We are not mascots.
I would encourage the public right now to discourage this bill.
Here's a look at House Joint Resolution 10, sponsored by Representative Rex Shipp. The resolution expresses support for the appropriate use of names, images, and symbols of Native Americans and other indigenous people by schools or places, as well as discouraging removing those names.
Withdraw HJR 10 Joint Resolution.
Marchers argue that will further complicate the issue.
I thought it was cool. I used to wear Indians hats, Redskins hats, because they were, symbols of myself, I thought. It wasn't until later when I was educated that I started understanding the psychological damage that it actually has to us as a community.
But banning outright Native American mascots was not the goal.
When communities can come to an agreement like that with the local tribes, and the local tribes don't find it offensive, then it works.
This is a bad thing. This is a step backwards. This is regression, and it's an immoral thing that he's trying to do.
Representative Shipp and I spoke on the phone today about House Joint Resolution 10. He told me the language is very clear that these mascots should be used with respect and honor of indigenous people. He also said with the session starting in just a few days, he's totally open to speaking with different representatives to address any concerns they may have. We'll continue to keep in touch with him as changes are made to this legislation. In studio, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And that entire statement from Representative Shipp has been posted for you to read on our website right now, fox13now.com. Today, the president's defense team responded to the accusations from House managers that the president abused his office and obstructed Congress.
We're also hearing a new recording involving a former associate of Rudy Giuliani. Fox's Caroline Shively explains why some Democrats would like to call that person as a witness.
The president's defense team only took about 2 hours for their first day of opening arguments. Sources tell Fox that President Trump is so pleased with their work, he thinks it's a mandate to end the impeachment process quickly.
The evidence is actually really overwhelming that the president did nothing wrong.
Senators listening closely to the opening arguments made by the president's legal team as they tried to dismantle the claims of House managers that the president abused his power and obstructed Congress.
They're asking you to remove President Trump from the ballot in an election that's occurring in approximately 9 months.
Meanwhile, a new recording has emerged. Lev Parnas, a former associate of Rudy Giuliani, has given congressional investigators a recording of the president saying he wants to get rid of then ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, a year before she was fired.
Get her out. Take her out, okay? Do it.
It appears to contradict Mr. Trump's statements that he doesn't know Parnas, who's pled not guilty to conspiracy to commit campaign finance fraud. Democrats have been calling for Parnas to appear as a witness in the trial.
No one denies that the House made a good case. Even Republicans say the House managers made a good case. Then why not have witnesses and documents?
All 100 senators seemed elated to have a short session after 4 late nights this week, especially the Democrats running for president. 3 of them headed straight to Iowa to campaign before they have to be back at the Capitol on Monday for day 6 of the impeachment trial. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Utah Senator Mitt Romney says he'll make up his mind on witnesses after opening arguments. Democrats need at least 4 Republicans to vote with them in order to compel new witnesses and documents. Moderate Republican Senators Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Cory Gardner of Colorado are possible yes votes. They echo Romney's opinion about waiting until after opening arguments.
A new poll by the Salt Lake Tribune and Suffolk University shows more Utahns back President Trump as he faces the impeachment trial.
This is the highest we've seen the president in approval rating in Utah since even before he was elected. The president has usually hovered around 46 to 50% of approval rating in Utah. This poll shows him at 57%.
Many of the 500 Utahns that were polled feel that Democrats are staging a coup to remove the president from office. You can read Burr's entire story in the Salt Lake Tribune or at sltrib.com. The Tribune is our content sharing partner. Fox 13 News will keep you up to speed on the Senate's impeachment trial as it develops. Stay with Fox 13 News on the air, on social media, and over at fox13now.com for the latest updates.
Well, over the past couple of hours, that fog has built in. The visibility has almost gotten worse in some areas.
Yeah.
Oh, it has. Yeah, setting back in across most of the Wasatch Front, particularly Salt Lake, Tooele, and Utah counties. Limited visibility, less than half of a mile. So traveling through the Wasatch Front, even through some of those Wasatch Mountain valleys, it's a concern here in the overnight hours as well as by tomorrow morning. Seeing that fog moving through downtown Salt Lake City. As we look, though, for today, the official high, 49 degrees. Yeah, we had the fog this morning. Once it burned off throughout the early afternoon hours, boy, temperatures quickly climbed. Then once again, that fog setting back in. Temperatures quickly went from the upper 40s back down to the low 30s. Looking elsewhere with your afternoon highs across the state, 40s through Delta, 50s in Milford, 60s in St. George, where the fog stuck around through most of the day. It remained cold. Provo, only getting up in the upper 30s. Vernal, Price, Moab over towards Hanksville. It's that region, the fog, having its impact, keeping temperatures down. And that's the same region, well, we'll have that fog in the overnight hours. Right now, we're at 37 degrees in Salt Lake City, colder in Provo, I should say, due to the low visibility and the fog currently in place. And air quality has not been good around those fog-prone areas. Salt Lake Valley, we're in the orange, unhealthy category. Even some red dots, indications of very unhealthy as you move up through Weber County. We're not going to see much improvements with the air quality as we transition into tomorrow. Yeah, we keep it in that moderate, close to unhealthy. Monday improvements through Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, the reason being, yeah, we got another storm on the way, changing things up, mixing out the air. We mentioned that dense fog advisory that's in place until tomorrow morning. No current winter weather advisories or warnings as we bring the storm in. It will put snow in the mountains. But how much? Well, let's take a look at our future snowcast. Moving the clock here over the next 24 hours. Not much snow accumulations, hardly at all, less than an inch. But as we transition from tomorrow night to Monday, that's when the snow falls, especially tomorrow night. Looking like by Monday we'll have about an inch in Park City, 6 inches in Snowbird, about 4 inches in Powder Mountain. That's kind of the range, more of that 2 upwards of 5, maybe a little bit more in the Big Cottonwood Canyon or Little Cottonwood Canyon as well, close to more close to 6 inches. Now across southern Utah we're going to see the snow falling, so this storm having more of a wider spread impact along I-15, the mountains of central and southern Utah. Nothing of great significance. Next 48 hours, they're looking at maybe a couple of inches in Bryan Head, maybe close to 3 inches at Fish Lake. But all in all, incorporating both southern Utah, as we do need more of a snowpack build up there, as we've been kind of dry in that region. Even though it still looks healthy, we're getting a little bit behind there. Now, as we look across the state, we're under a westerly flow, bringing in some clouds. Mostly cloudy skies expected across northern into northeastern Utah. We're not seeing the shower threat yet. The next storm arriving will bring in those showers. The timing, again, kind of putting off just a little bit. We thought it was going to be tomorrow afternoon, but we'll wait until the evening. Let's confirm that. Take a look at our computer models. Clock here tonight. Let's go until tomorrow morning. Yeah, clouds tomorrow across northern into eastern Utah, but some of these clouds representing the fog that will be in place from Price up through the Uinta Basin over towards Hanksville once again and along the Wasatch Front. Moving the clock until the noon hour or just thereafter. Not much activity as of yet. Late afternoon, still waiting. It gets here between 6 to 7 o'clock. A lot of green, rain showers starting off, snow in the mountains. It changes colors overnight. That transition from rain to snow, even for the valleys, could see some brief snow showers. Not expecting to see much in accumulation, but for the mountain slushy roads, for the northern and central mountains, for your Monday morning commute, and then turning the focus over towards eastern Utah. Through Monday, the storm moves away. Could see some lingering mountain showers, but by Tuesday, we see another little burst of some showers, where for the most part, it's the rain or rain-snow mix for the valleys, as we'll keep the snow accumulation up in the mountains. Now for tonight, it's mostly cloudy skies. It's that fog in place for the Wasatch Front towards southeastern Utah. Overnight lows for many spots in the low 30s or even upper 20s. Tomorrow, highs like we saw today. We see the fog in the morning. It's cold. We get a little break in the fog in the afternoon. It's getting up in the mid to upper 40s, even 40s in Park City. The showers late afternoon into the evening. Now for St. George, you can see a brief rain shower Sunday into early Monday morning. Then it's clear, as we'll keep temperatures in the mid to upper 50s and even 60s towards next weekend. Northern Utah, it's 40s, rain turning into snow. Then another chance of some rain showers Tuesday. 40s expected, but by next weekend, it looks like we'll see low 50s, so mild temperatures.
Still to come, a years-long tradition in Garden City is back. We'll take you to the Bear Lake Monster Winterfest next.
We switched. I switched to Chevy. I switched for more room. We switched.
Why do we switch?
For adventure. For this.
See why people are switching to Chevy.
I'm never switching back.
Current competitive owners can use Auto Show Cash to get $3,750 total cash allowance on most Blazer models. Plus, eligible GM card members get $1,000 in bonus earnings. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Sizzler's Steak and Endless Salad Bar is here for only $10.99. Hurry in for a hand-cut flame-grilled 6-ounce steak with one of our delicious sides and our endless salad bar featuring fresh salad, soup, and dessert. Only $10.99 and only at Sizzler.
Dear Jack Frost, people say you've got ice in your veins, but underneath it all, you're just a big old softie. Go ahead, try to nip at our toes. Thanks to our available Remote Connect, we'll be toasty and warm and ready to go. Warm wishes, Toyota Cars.
Right now, lease a new 2020 Camry for just $249 per month or get $1,250 cash back on a new Camry. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
You know who really loves fresh food? Amateur chefs, stay-at-home parents, salad lovers, barbecuers, smorgasborders, hors d'oeuvres, fondue and flambeurs, midnight snackers, brown baggers, bakers, and throw it in the microwavers. At Smith's, you can get all the fresh you want at a great price with same-day pickup and delivery. Because we believe in fresh for everyone.
Build a meal with Arby's 2 for $6. Whether it's 2 sandwiches, an entree and an appetizer, or 2 yummy cheese types. Arby's, we have the meats.
Storm update, we're looking at bad roads out there. We've got freezing rain, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. This storm front...
Sorry, Mr. Weatherman. We are no longer listening. Because with more 2019 IIHS Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards combined than Honda, Subaru, or Toyota, winter can't touch a Hyundai SUV. Get 0% APR for 60 months on the 2020 Hyundai Tucson or Santa Fe. Only at your Utah Hyundai dealer.
You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
Utah's greatest snow on earth for people of all ages. Check this out. A group from the Sheridan Assisted Living community in South Jordan took to the slopes of Snowbird. Some of the skiers in their 80s and believe an active lifestyle makes them happier, healthier, and able to function better.
Absolutely. More fun I've had in a long time.
Awesome. Most of the seniors didn't want to leave. I don't blame them. Thanks to Snowbird and Wasatch Adaptive Sports, these seniors and any others who want to ski will have a chance to do it.
Those seniors properly dressed for the weather. These guys, not so much. The annual Bear Lake Monster Winterfest, well, it's back in Garden City this weekend. Lots of people braved the elements and jumped into the cold, cold water for a polar plunge. There was also a chili cook-off and, painful just watching that. Chili cook-off and a family fun social. But, of course, the main attraction for a lot of people going to the Winterfest for the first time was taking a dip with their friends and family.
My first thought was, okay, I think I can be able to handle this. First thought going into the water and popping out was, I don't even know where my legs or my body or anything's at all. I was so excited to get in. I was almost before they told me to go, so, yeah.
Excited to get in. Yikes. They look like they're having fun, though. In the past, the festival events were spread over 2 weekends, but this year it's all happening in just 3 days. It will end tomorrow.
The bodies of 3 U.S. firefighters who died while battling the Australian wildfires recovered. I'm Laura Engel in New York. The latest details of the deadly crash coming up.